care.
Oh, I love a Burger King.
Yeah, I do love a burger.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say about their buns is that they do fall apart.
Sorry.
But maybe it's keep on having the half pounder or whatever it is, or that I have, or used to have, perhaps.
An excellent choice, though, Nev, to be fair. Yeah, sorry. You're listening to the Food Talking podcast, and
I might get one actually when I leave the studio on Saturday.
What? Where from? There's not one nearby, is there? Is there? Are you going Norwich or something?
No. Oh God, there isn't one in Disso, is there?
No, there's no fast food at all. Why is Gemma away?
No.
I was going to say hello, mischief.
Eat it before I get home.
Yeah, absolutely. Mischief.
The trouble is, Brian, who runs the food van in the lay-by at
thingy.
He doesn't do Saturdays. No, and his butcher's burgers, the half pounders. Nice. Oh my lord,
award winning.
They're something else. They really are.
I bet.
We have a similar thing around where we live. It's called muck in the truck.
Love that. That is awesome.
Do you not find though that roadside or motorway side trailer
dives, yes.
The food, the burgers just taste so flipping good.
I think it depends on the
so
outlet.
bad for you.
Yeah, I think it depends on the outlet, to be fair. Because, I mean, if you went to the one in, I won't mention the pub, but the one that used to have the little burger van outside the pub.
Oh God, that's awful.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I
so I think it does very much depend on the.
There's one on the
service
A11 just
provider
outside Norwich called Karen's Diner. There's a lovely woman called Karen, funnily enough, who runs it, and she's been on BBC and ITV News, and she's won a couple of awards as well.
I'd have imagined that you'd have gone onto the A47 and gone and stopped at, was it Becky's Baps? I think the burger.
Oh, is that the one on the end?
Yeah,
is that the one on the NDR?
Yeah. No, not on the end. That's on the 47 as you head out towards Easton.
Oh, because it is. Yes.
Yeah.
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
No innuendo whatsoever.
No, none whatsoever. Moving on.
Yeah.
In your end.
And are they good baps? That's the question.
Award winning. You'd love them.
Quite flowery, I should imagine.
See, as long as it's not one of those awful brioche things that they are. Whoever thought that having a meat-based item in a brioche bun requires kicking hard?
I blame the French.
Yeah,
because that's like having custard on roast chicken.
That's quite an extreme view.
But it is, though. Brioche buns
1 minute
do
to
not
go, by the
belong
way. 1 minute to go before
on
clock.
a burger.
Yeah.
I'll call down to the restaurant later on if I can order a chicken with custard from Mrs. May. See what she says about that.
I mean, the first question will be, do you have those items in, I guess? But
we do, actually.
Very brave calling at the restaurant as well.
Yes, that's very good. Yes. Excellent.
Oh, you restaurant dining this evening, Andy?
It's 8 p.m. here now, so probably not. I'll see.
No.
I don't know.
Although knowing the Spanish penchant for eating late, you know.
Yes, it's siesta
That's very
time.
true.
That could still happen, couldn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
God, I'm hungry now.
I've just had a paella for my dinner.
Oh, blimey. So hungry.
Or paella, sorry. Silent L's.
Or a nice Cumberland sausage with onions.
Sausage.
Is that with a bap as well?
Nah, it's got to be a baguette. A crispy baguette.
I'm going to turn my microphone off for the entire show. Good luck, everyone.
Gemma's not home yet, and I'm so hungry.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
and welcome to episode number 585 of the Plain Talking UK podcast. I'm Carlos, and in this week's show, Aer Lingus has ended ticket sales for its transatlantic flights from Manchester Airport from beyond the end of March. Airbus amends de-icing checklists after a ditch button slips through the net triggering cabin altitude alerts. And ANA introduces the world's largest business class seats on their 787s. In the military, a Ukrainian drone manufacturer is to invest £200 million in East Anglia in the UK. Woo! And the Red Arrows display team are going to be led by a woman for the first time in its history. This week, in the Retro Airline Ad of the Week, we go back to 1982, where TWA are creating a business class for basketball players, and the world's greatest airliner ever built. We'll see that on that advert. And then we'll step back a year to 1981 to Pan Am, where we'll see one of their 747 classics. And Nev will also be having an update for you regarding the 600th show, which is happening in May this year. So joining me this week is Across the Fields, and the less frosty of fields than the one this morning in Buckinghamshire is, of course, Neville Bones.
Yes, it was a bit frosty this morning, I must say. A bit chilly, -2 or 3. Nothing like what Bill is reporting in Canada about -20. Oh, it's a completely different story, isn't it? But no, all well here. Thank you very much. Great to be back. Very busy show tonight, actually. Lots of stuff going on in the aviation world this week, I'm pleased to say. So not all of it great either, but there's plenty to talk about.
Yes, thank you for joining us this week. As always, Mr. Bones, I guess everything is tickety-boo in your neck of the woods.
Yes, just the usual, medical checkups, conversations with the doctor, lose weight, eat less, exercise more, the usual conversation I tend to have with them every so often.
And that's why I have this dwindling glass of water here with me. Yeah. Young age gets us all. Anyway, also joining us across, I was going to say across the village then, but no, because you're next door now. You're in the next village. In the next village, that way, in the PTUK Master Suite studios, it is, of course, Matt Smith.
Now, you are in a village. I'm still in a town.
Or in a town.
To be fair, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Oh, hello, I pressed the wrong button. Yes, hello. Yes. Good to be here. Good to be here.
Yeah, we're in a village that has no shops, and we just have one very good village pub.
An excellent pub, to be fair. Highly recommended if you ever end up in Ersham.
Yes. But good to see you, Mr. Smith. How's things in the world of, Smith? All good?
Yeah, same, different day. That's the thing. Lots going on at work, which is mind blowing a bit. I've had a change of roles, so I'm now a data protection officer. So lots to learn on that, and attending lots of big scary meetings with people who own the business rather than so it's a bit scary. But try meeting the challenge head on, as they say.
Good fun. It's character building.
Yeah, we'll go with that, shall we? It's not in any way terrifying yet. Absolutely.
No. And also joining us from his swanky, posh 5-star hotel in Barcelona, it is, of course, our resident captain of everything Airbus and the 320 sim captain as well. It is, of course, Captain Andy.
Hello. Yes, I'm in Barcelona, which is significantly milder than home. It's around 12 degrees here at 8 p.m. So I don't know whether to wear a jumper, T-shirt or what. It's been a very busy day, but I am glad to be on the show.
And good to have you on. And how was, I have to ask, because we talked about it last week, or the week before, I think it was on the show, you were saying that you were going to go fly and you had a flight plan for last week.
Yes, yeah. It was good fun. Yeah, it was nice to go out flying for once. Yeah. And I'm going to do the same again next week.
Oh, excellent. That sounds like... And I said the trusty CEO or Neo?
It was a 319, so it was a...
319?
So it was a CEO. I don't know what next week will be.
Yeah. Exciting times.
Too soon.
And joining us from in a very nice part of the UK, down south, where it's where the place where people travel to go on a lovely holiday, but the 9-hour drive would virtually kill me, is, of course, Mr. Codling. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Carlos. Yeah, we're on holiday all year round down here, down in Devon. So, yeah, good to see everyone.
Your sea is a different colour to ours, Nick. It's inviting rather than brown.
Yeah, although I don't think I'd want to be swimming at the moment. It's, might be a little bit fresh, I think.
Tad rough. Yeah, tad rough.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Nick, as always. So we have got lots to get through on the show. We're going to say hello to the chat room tonight. Darren Smith was first in there tonight. First in the chat, he says. Shifting 0.5 meters, not half a metre of snow from the driveway. Blimey. Richard Adams says hello, pint of beer in hand, as always. Mazoos, hello to you. Tanya, hello, Tanya, over in New York. Good to see you in the chat room. Masha, good evening to you. Bill, hello, Bill. Lovely to see Bill, as always, in the chat room. And we have got me scrolling. C172 driver, hello, John Jester. Good to see you in there as well. We have also got, Owen. Owen is in the chat room as well. Hello to you, Owen. Nice to see you in there. Not seen you for ages. And Jason Trussell says, good evening all. Hope you're all well. 128 days to go. Jason's counting down the days, guys, until the 600th show. Oh, it'll soon be here. The time's flying by. And don't forget, if you're listening to us as an audio show, we're live on YouTube Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. And don't forget to subscribe to us and also click the bell icon to be notified when we're live and broadcasting just like we are now. Right, if all the team are ready, we've got a stack of news to get through. So, Matt, are you ready? Hit the button.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
This first one comes to us from the sun.co.uk, and a bit of a shock. I weren't expecting this at all. A major airline axes all long-haul flights from UK airport after 5 years. Irish carrier Aer Lingus UK has confirmed it has ended ticket sales for its transatlantic flights from Manchester Airport beyond the end of March. The airline began the process of halting the 3 routes in November and has since confirmed it will stop flying to New York, Orlando, and Barbados. The carrier on January the 8th this year said it was undergoing a period of uncertainty on transatlantic services at its Manchester base. It continued to minimise the customer disruption in the event of a closure of the Manchester base, which operates transatlantic flights from Manchester to New York, Orlando and Barbados. Aer Lingus is no longer selling transatlantic flights to or from Manchester for travel from the 31st of March this year, 2026. With the stopping of these routes, there are fears that Aer Lingus could lose its base at Manchester altogether, according to TTG Media. The airline has not confirmed that the base will close. Aer Lingus UK began flying non-stop from Manchester to New York, JFK, and Orlando and Barbados back in 2021. The routes that remain with Aer Lingus from Manchester fly to Belfast City and Dublin. And in a statement, the airline said the developments will not affect Aer Lingus or Aer Lingus regional services between Ireland and Manchester. If you still want to head away to the US with Aer Lingus, you can still book trips on their website up until the end of March. For those who still want to fly to New York with Aer Lingus, it will continue to fly from London Heathrow and airports in Glasgow, Edinburgh, Bristol, Birmingham, and Newcastle upon Tyne. As for Orlando, Aer Lingus will still operate flights from London Heathrow, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, Birmingham, Bristol, Glasgow, and Leeds, Bradford. And there will no longer be direct flights from the UK to Barbados with Aer Lingus from March 2026. So, bidding off, cost-saving measure, potentially, I'm guessing, with Aer Lingus.
Well, this is not Aer Lingus as you know it. This is Aer Lingus UK, which is a separate arm completely to the main company. These are British registered A330s. They've had a lot of issues because there were some of the older 330s. So they've been cancelling a lot of flights as well. Then they've also had the cabin crew issue that we talked about a few weeks back as well. It's just a bit of a perfect storm, and if it's not making money, then why continue? I know all these are saying they're flying from all these other airports, but I still believe that you'll have to go via Dublin for all of these to get to the States. It's not direct from, especially not Newcastle or Bristol or anything like that. It's a shame because it means there's probably some jobs that are going to go unless they transfer them over to the Irish side, which they probably will because those airframes will be getting used over there as well. But yeah, looks like it just hasn't worked for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, Alan will be upset there, won't he?
Yeah, but if you can't fill an A330 with the right number of bums on seats, as it were, and as Andy said, there's been some reliability issues. The trouble is on those routes, there's very little contingency, if any. If something goes wrong, you end up with a massive delay or cancelling flights and hoteling passengers. Especially if it's on the return sector, it's probably not as bad going out, but coming back, that's quite a big moment, really, isn't it? So yeah, it's a shame, but it's got to work, isn't it? It's got to make the spreadsheet work somehow.
I remember Alan saying to us when we were in Ireland, Nev, that Aer Lingus had used the 330 on a domestic route between UK and Ireland. I'm sure.
Yeah, I've flown on an A330 from Heathrow to Dublin before with Aer Lingus. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, I bet that's tough to fill that flight. Right, Matt, you've got the next one, Ryanair for you, and yeah, interesting one this.
Yeah, not really quite sure what to make of this one, so I may well tap up Andy for a bit of info on this one. But Aviation24.be is the source on this one. And Ryanair Boeing 737 flew 4 sectors after undetected engine. What's a nacelle strike in Faro? So Portuguese investigators have confirmed that a Ryanair 737-800 operated for around 24 hours and completed 4 passenger flights with undetected engine nacelle damage following a landing incident at Faro Airport on the 15th of November 2025. The aircraft registered Echo India Echo November Golf, a 15-year-old aircraft and operating flight FR 5139 from Milan, was conducting an ILS approach to runway 28 amid thunderstorms and crosswinds. Flight data shows a firm touchdown of 1.69 G, accompanied by significant aileron. Is it aileron? Aileron. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate that. Inputs during the flare. After an initial touchdown, the left main landing gear briefly bounced, causing the aircraft to roll approximately 9 degrees to the right. During this roll, the underside of the right-hand engine nacelle contacted the runway surface. Despite the pod strike, the aircraft decelerated normally and taxied to the apron without apparent abnormalities. The flight crew did not consider the landing to be hard, and all aircraft systems were operating normally, with no cockpit indications and no obvious signs during the post-flight walk-around. The aircraft was released back into service. Over the following day, Echo India Echo November Golf operated 4 additional sectors. Neither flight crews nor engineers conducting a ramp inspection on the evening of the 15th of November identified the damage. Investigators noted that the affected area of the 737 nacelle sits very low to the ground, making underside damage difficult to detect without a more detailed inspection. The damage was discovered the following day following a subsequent check, after which Ryanair declared the aircraft AOG in Faro. What does that mean, AOG?
Aircraft on ground.
Literally that. Okay, fair enough. The aircraft remained grounded until the 22nd of November while repairs and inspections were completed. Portugal's investigation authority, Golf Papa India Alpha Alpha, stated that the occurrence highlights the challenges of visual inspections in hard-to-see areas and underscores the importance of continuous airworthiness assessment and strict adherence to inspection programs, even when crews do not perceive a landing as abnormal. Ryanair has carried out an internal investigation and implemented mitigation measures, though these have not been publicly detailed. Now, as a nervous flyer, I have to say that this doesn't bother me in any way, shape or form. I feel like everything's been done correctly here. I mean, the people flying the aircraft, if there'd have been any anomalies or anything like, if it was, moving a bit weird or whatever, you'd like to think that, the pilots are very, very experienced with these aircraft. And so, I mean, I don't see that as any form of like serious risk to the public. And then it was picked up as part of a routine inspection. I mean, I feel like the system's worked here.
Now, Richard Adams in the chat room says surely the pilot doing the walk around should have spotted that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
The engines do sit very low to the ground, but as part of your walk around on any type, you should be checking underneath the entire engine pod to check the condition. And I'm sure there's some drain masts and stuff like that stick out that were probably missing after it hit the runway. I find it very difficult to understand why this wasn't spotted, especially if after you'd had that event where you got that's quite a lot of roll, 9 degrees. In my head, I'd think, I best check under that engine just to be sure.
Here's
But
a question
that's what I
for
would do.
you, Andy. Thinking about sort of the human factors side of things, do you think that with the pressure of the quick turnarounds, the 25-minute turnarounds that the low-cost airlines try to do, does that put more pressure on the captain or first officer, depending who's doing the walk around? And do you think that stuff like this could be missed in the dead of night or when the weather's bad and you're flashing your mag light around and this sort of stuff? Is that more challenging, do you think?
Well, this is a professional job, and we're all expected to act in a professional manner and carry out our duties as per the manuals. So even if the weather is horrible, it's late at night, you're picking up delays, you want to get away, you need to slow yourself down and go, I'm here to do a job and do that job properly. So let's make sure I check all the areas that I'm meant to check, and I'll extra check somewhere that I'm not sure what happened on that landing, etc. But that's what I would do. And I'm not the same as every other pilot. Some people might just do a quick walk around. I don't know. I don't want to say anything against these guys because I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. But that's my opinion on it. You do the job and you do it properly.
Correct answer. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have? I'm guessing you have mag lights and stuff on the flight deck when you're doing walk arounds in the.
We have our own torches.
Oh, okay.
Because the torches on the flight deck are for emergency use. We don't want to be using the batteries up on those.
Mm. Were you saying, Matt?
No, I was just going to say, I mean, if they're saying like the plane it felt like it was behaving itself and all that kind of thing, I mean, was there any real significant risk? Because, I mean, presumably if any serious damage had taken place, it would have felt different when the pilot was flying it.
So the engine nacelle, that's the section at the front of the engine. You could damage all sorts of things. It's very thin honeycomb material. There's normally gearboxes underneath.
Right.
You've also got the anti-ice systems for the engines as well. There's a lot of things in there because aircraft have got to be light, got to be lightweight, and you can cause, and even a ding can cause some damage to some pipework inside or anything like that. So yeah, it's not the best to be flying. If it wasn't a little problem, then it wouldn't been AOG'd and remained on the ground for 7 days.
Fair.
So there
Yeah,
must have
okay.
been something significant in there that needed replacing. It couldn't just be a quick repair with a classic bit of speed tape.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair argument. Yeah.
I'm just looking on, just done a quick search, and it does say so the 737-800 uses, as we all know, the CFM56 engine with a distinct flattened under cheek, as it calls it on here. Ground clearance, due to its low wing design, is typically around 46 to 64 centimetres from the tarmac.
Yep. Still, if you can't crouch down and look underneath, you shouldn't be flying the aeroplane.
Nick's just pointing out how big is that, Nick?
Well, I suppose my usual standard of measure is a 30-centimetre ruler. So it's 1.5 30-centimetre rulers, which doesn't sound like enough to me.
He's
very
quite low,
close.
isn't it? He's very low, isn't it?
Yeah.
1.5 feet, or 1.5 to 2 feet.
Which I suppose is and that's the significance here, isn't it? Because it's a essentially. I mean, it says in the report there that it was a 9-degree tilt, if you like. But if you've only got 45 centimeters to play with, essentially, then a 9-degree tilt is enough to do that, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Never happen on an Airbus.
Oh, here we go.
You'd need a lot more tilts than that to hit an engine on a 320.
Do you know what the clearance is off the top of your head, Andy?
Oh no, I can only remember tail clearance off the top of my head because that's the usual area for contact.
Yeah. Obviously, the 737 is a lot more limited in that regard, isn't it? With its stubby landing gear.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look quickly. It's engine nacelle A320-200, 1.87 feet or 22.5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
What's that in real money?
In real, 0.57 meters.
So see, it's similar.
Yeah.
And I get down and look under the engine every single time.
Yeah, you'd have to be doing a certain limbo to get that to work, I tell you. But
Well, no, but as Andy is saying, I guess that's the point, though, isn't it? Your job is to do an inspection, not do half an inspection.
you need
those
those handheld things.
And
with
if
the
you
mirrors.
were aware that you've possibly had some, you've had a bit of a tilt and stuff, you'd like to think that on this occasion you'd be very thorough in your walk round check. Do you know what I mean? I guess.
But anyway, everyone was okay. And yeah, it was a positive outcome. Nev, apps for weather.
Yes, I've got one. Yes. But this is proving quite useful and interesting. On flightglobal.com, it says that BA A380 Turbulence Probe credits live weather app with limiting injury risk. UK investigators have highlighted the benefit of access to real-time weather apps after a turbulence incident south of Greenland involving a British Airways Airbus A380. The aircraft involved, which was Golf X-Ray Lima Echo India. I've actually flown on that aircraft from Heathrow to Dallas Fort Worth, had been cruising at 39,000 feet during a service from Los Angeles to Heathrow on the 6th of December last year. According to the UK Air Accidents Investigation Branch, pre-departure briefing documents provided to the crew contained no significant weather warnings for the route. But the crew had access to a live weather app via the electronic flight bag, which updated through the aircraft's Wi-Fi. From that, the crew became aware of a forecasted area of potentially severe turbulence developing, said the inquiry. As the aircraft approached this area, the captain switched on the passenger seatbelt signs and asked the cabin crew to secure equipment and to take their seats. Some 20 minutes later, the aircraft encountered turbulence, perceived by the crew as light to moderate, which lasted about 10 to 15 seconds. One of the flight deck attendants fell whilst preparing to take her seat on the lower deck, fracturing her ankle, and a passenger on the upper deck also suffered a broken ankle whilst returning from the lavatory. The inquiry says that the crew's weather app receives real-time eddy dissipation rate information via a global data exchange. Based on the app data, the crew had opted to follow anticipated turbulence procedures, and although 2 occupants were injured, more people may have been affected if the seatbelt signs had remained off, says the inquiry. Given the pre-flight weather charts give a widespread picture of potential turbulence conditions, this type of event highlights the benefits of live weather app technology in giving localized real-time turbulence information to crew, it adds. It also points out that the crew had contacted the ground-based medical support system Medlink, which enabled the cabin crew to use onboard materials to create splints for those injured, as well as treat a passenger who had separately lost consciousness after becoming unwell. Although the captain had considered a diversion to Gander Airport or Reykjavik's Keflavik Airport, weather and runway conditions were thought to be unsuitable, and after discussions with Medlink, the crew proceeded to Heathrow. That's very interesting, isn't it? Because I would imagine when you're doing the crew briefing and the weather briefing, Andy, at the start of the flight or before the flight even commences in the crew room, the information you've got is a forecast. It's not real time information, is it?
That's correct. And it's very good forecast. They're normally very good. It always surprises me that you can look at the winds at altitude and you can be sat at that waypoint and it's normally within a couple of degrees and a couple of knots. It's normally very, very good. But having real-time data is just fantastic. Normally, if we suspect we're going to hit terms, obviously we brief it and then we get reports from aircraft ahead on the same route as well to see what the ride's like at different levels, etc. But to have it there in front of you, awesome. I really like that.
Those reports you get, Andy, from other aircraft, is that through a different frequency or is that through...
No, just ask on the ATC frequency. Okay. We can see, like, is there any other aircraft on our same routing? Yeah, there's somebody 120 miles ahead. Can you ask them what the ride's like? Then you hear them ask, yeah, it's smooth now. Cool. Or if not, you quite often hear a lot of people saying, can we go up? Can we go down? And then most people will follow. We'll go on a big train and just follow each other, dipping up and down the levels to try and find somewhere smooth to ride.
I have to say, the only thing that sort of surprised me a little bit in this short story is I guess I sort of assumed somewhat naively that your weather data was in real time and sort of live whilst you were flying, because most pilots these days tend to have manuals and stuff on their iPads and things like that. I guess I sort of foolishly assumed that you were getting real time weather data, in a digital way.
It all depends on what equipment you've got on board the aircraft to get outside data and internet and stuff like that. Some of our newer aircraft have got SATCOM, where we can get some of that info, but some of the older aircraft, no, not at all.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Windy, personally. That's my go-to app for weather. But, yeah, up-to-date weather, Andy. That's what you need for a nice, smooth flight.
Yeah, but at least they couldn't have a smooth ride in this, but at least it let them prepare.
Right, Andy, talking of Airbus, you'll know everything to do about this particular aircraft, and this next story is all about the 320.
Yeah, this is from flightglobal.com. Airbus amends de-icing checklist after ditching push-button slips trigger cabin altitude alerts. Airbus has updated de-icing checklist after a number of incidents in which aircraft have failed to pressurise after the ditching push button was inadvertently left active prior to takeoff. The revision has been disclosed by the UK AAIB during its probe into an A320neo cabin altitude alert, which occurred as the jet departed Belfast for Palma on the 20th of April last year. Its captain initially expected the aircraft to be de-iced, a process new to the first officer who was undergoing line training. De-icing requires configuring the aircraft on the ground to turn off the bleed air sources and activate the ditching push button in order to prevent cabin ingestion of de-icing fluid. But de-icing on the aircraft proved unnecessary, and the crew reinstated the previous configuration using the checklist. The inquiry says, however, that the pilots omitted to return the ditching push button, which is guarded, to off. While the manufacturer specifies that during flight the pilots must cross-check guarded controls before operating them, there's no such specification for operation on the ground. As the aircraft took off, with the first officer flying, it climbed towards 39,000 feet. It was cruising at this altitude about 25 minutes after departure when the cabin altitude rising past 9,000 feet when the captain queried why the air conditioning packs were off. The crew put on oxygen masks, declared an emergency, and the captain took over to initiate a descent to 10,000 feet. The cabin altitude continued to increase, triggering a pressurization warning. As the A320neo descended, the captain recycled the pack switches and noticed that the annunciator lights were still set at dim. He reset the switch to bright and saw the ditching push button was still engaged from the de-icing. After deselecting the push button, pressurization of the aircraft resumed and the captain levelled the jet at 20,000 feet. The cabin altitude, having reached a maximum of about 10,300 feet, began to fall. The crew discussed the situation and, given the passengers' oxygen masks had not been deployed, opted to continue to Palma. The aircraft climbed back to 37,000 feet and proceeded without further incident, and there were no injuries among the 183 occupants. The airline subsequently identified 19 further events involving the ditching push button between 2015 and the occurrence involving the Belfast Palmer flight, although all these other events were on the ground and related to selection of auxiliary power unit bleed air or use of external air with the push button still selected. But Airbus is aware of 6 previous events in which excess cabin altitude alerts were triggered in flight, with the ditching push button activated, at least 4 of which were preceded by the button being left on after de-icing. Airbus has amended the de-icing checklist to draw attention to the fact that leaving the push button engaged will prevent pressurization and lead to a cabin altitude warning. There we go. And you were shown pictures of the overhead panel as well, I think, Matt.
So do you think, was that an FCOM manual omission from Airbus, do you think? Or
No, the checklist does tell you to turn it back off. So it looks like just an omission as part of the checklist on this one. But it is interesting that it doesn't tell you that the packs will be off when you get airborne. Normally, if you have the pack switches off, as you pass through about 2,000 feet, if you forgot to turn them back on, it'll give you a ding, like tell you air pack 1 off, air pack 2 off, and remind you to put them back on. But with this button active, regardless of the position of those switches, the packs will not operate. Which is a little gotcha, really, that we should tell everybody about who flies this aeroplane.
And there's no audible warning or anything else, Andy, that would...
Nope.
So I think as a layman, that was the bit that I missed in the article when we were discussing this on our group chat earlier in the week.
Yes.
About the packs becoming disabled, which I guess you would expect because of the, as it states, so that you don't get any ingestion of the de-icing fluid. What I was quite surprised about was that the aircraft was up at 37,000 feet, but the cabin altitude was still around 10,000 feet, which was quite surprising, really.
Yeah, because it closes up all of the holes in the airframe, essentially. And if it's got a good seal, it leaks out really slowly. It's a Neo, so it's not that old an airframe. The older airframes will lose the pressurization quicker. Right. But it did a good job of holding it in, really.
It did. And actually, I think it also states that the passengers weren't aware or didn't notice the fact that there was an emergency descent. So they were kind of quite lucky in the sense that they were able to handle the whole emergency without really alarming anybody or any harm being done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good outcome.
And the masks didn't drop either, as well, Andy. Is that, or in the actual cabin, so the masks weren't triggered? Is that a sort of separate system that triggers them, or is there a?
No, you need the cabin altitude needs to be higher.
All right. Okay.
Then they'll automatically deploy.
Yeah.
What would that be? About 14,000?
Oh, well done, mate.
Well done, Mr. Codling.
Right, I'm getting my practice in. I'm going to be flying a sim in about 6 weeks. So I've got to get good.
Matt, next one for you, and this story reminds me of that film that what's his name? Who was in Titanic? What's his name?
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah,
done that film, didn't he?
Oh, what? Catch Me If You Can.
That's the one. Thank you, Matt. Well done. Yeah, this reminds me a bit of that.
Brilliant film, by the way. If you've not watched it, absolutely treat yourself. Paddle Your Own Canoe is the source for this one, and the headline is "Woman Arrested for Impersonating a Flight Attendant After Airline Refused to Hire Her." An Indonesian woman has been arrested for impersonating a flight attendant after she created a fake uniform and ID badge for an airline that had refused to hire her as cabin crew. The 23-year-old woman, later identified, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that one, had applied to become a flight attendant at the Indonesian carrier Batik Air, but was knocked back at the interview stage. Afraid to tell her family that she'd been rejected, however, Nisea allegedly came up with an elaborate plan to deceive everyone into thinking she had, in fact, been hired. She bought a counterfeit counterfeit version of Batik Air's distinctive uniform, which comprises a white kebaya blouse and a patterned shirt, online, and even managed to get hold of a fake airline ID badge. She then went to the airport and bought a normal passenger ticket to travel on a Batik Air flight from Palembang's Sultan Mahmud Badarakin to airport.
I'm glad you got this story.
Into Jakarta's airport. During the flight, however, the real flight attendants became suspicious of her after noticing subtle differences in her blouse. They struck up a conversation with her and tested her knowledge of basic crew procedures, which she didn't know the answers to. Concerned about her intentions, the crew radioed ahead for aviation security officers to meet the plane on arrival, and she was taken into custody for further questioning. She initially denied any wrongdoing, but later admitted to impersonating a flight attendant. Embarrassingly for her, her detention was filmed by aviation security officers, and a video of her admitting her deception was later made public. While some commentators on the now viral video have raised concern about a possible threat to flight security, officials have pointed out that she bought a regular passenger ticket and had passed through standard security screening at the airport. Other commentators have also defended her, likening her behaviour to nothing more than cosplay. I think my concern, from my perspective, is that the role is so much more than just sort of supplying food and drinks to people, isn't it? I mean, the cabin crew are the people who will save your life in the event of an emergency. There's no two ways about it, and they will be the ones that ensure that you leave the aircraft safely, whilst the pilot and the first officer are dealing with their various things. It's very much a team effort, isn't it? And if one of you hasn't got all of the training that you need, and something went wrong, that could have been, awful. I don't know if I agree that this was nothing more than harmless cosplay, is I guess where I'm going with this.
Yes, I completely disagree that it was harmless. What if somebody had had a medical incident and the rest of the cabin crew were trying to sort it out and went, come on, you get in there, start doing CPR, didn't know how to do it. If there was an emergency on the ground where they had to evacuate and they said, come on, can you give us a hand? It could be an absolute disaster. And also, this is just the first step, isn't it? Dress up. Fake ID as well. I mean, that's a big no-no legally as well. What are you playing at? Are you a threat of some sort? Just don't do this. Simple as that. Also, just fess up to your family. You didn't get in, all right? You can try again to another airline or whatever. But you're never going to work at an airline now. That's it, game over.
I'm not going to get him a BA now, am I? Yeah. Even had to fake
you dress
ID
up
ready
like
and everything.
I think you'd look lovely in a cabin crew uniform, Carlos.
Yeah, I'll give anything a go once.
Just
Particularly
make
the
sure you
skirt.
shave your legs.
I was going to say, with the skirt, you've got to make sure that or tights, either or.
It'd be like the whole "Come Fly With Me" again, wouldn't it?
Oh yes,
with Walliams and
yes.
We can't talk about that though because that's forbidden TV now, unfortunately.
Oh yes, I suppose it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Different times, eh?
Different times. So just going to take a sip of this water here. Lovely water that is, fresh from the East Anglian vaults.
You're all right, Carlos.
Nick's got his beer. So this is from the newsnation.now. Quality of airline drinking water varies widely. So you may want to think twice about what drink you order next time you're on a flight. A recent study from the Centre for Food as Medicine and Longevity found that some airlines have been giving passengers potentially unhealthy water. and they failed to meet the federal safety standards to protect them and the airline crew. Researchers surveyed more than 35,000 water samples from 10 major airlines and 11 regional airlines from October 2022 to September 2025, based on criteria including violations per aircraft, maximum contaminant levels, violations for E. coli, indicators, positive rates, public notices, and disinfecting and flushing frequency. The analysis found that 2.7% of those samples tested positive for total chloroform, coliform. There we go.
I was going to say that's a very different thing.
A group of bacteria that signals potential contamination by disease-causing germs, according to the Washington State Department of Health. Testing for coliform bacteria is important because their presence in drinking water indicates that disease-causing organisms or pathogens could be in the water system, researchers said in a report. The study also found of the 21 airlines surveyed, E. coli was found 32 times. Ew. Among the major US carriers, Delta, Frontier received an A rating, while American Airlines, JetBlue, and Spirit received a D rating. News Nation has reached out to the airlines for comment. Americans' potable water program is fully compliant with the Environmental Protection Agency's, or EPA, aircraft drinking water rule. And a recent EPA audit showed there were no significant findings from the program. We've not received any violations for any potable water cabinets or trunks that we use, American Airlines said in a statement. American Airlines said it was closely monitoring, reviewing, and studying and determining any potential changes that would further enhance the safety and well-being of the customers. The usual stuff they say, you know. The report advises passengers to be extra cautious, suggesting they should not drink any water that isn't sealed in a bottle. It also recommends avoiding drinking coffee or tea on board flights and avoiding washing your hands in the bathroom on the flight. Instead, use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Now, I think the last time that I saw a drinking water fountain dispenser on board an aircraft was on a 777, I think, or a 76, probably a 777, because normally you get bottled water given to you on aircraft. I think every aircraft I know is bottled water, apart from obviously the tea and coffee making facilities. But yeah.
I mean, I don't have an issue with the tea and coffee making. It depends a bit on the temperature to which it's boiled.
Boiled.
You know, because I mean, I dare say it's not boiled. Is it going to be sort of like 70 or 80 degrees potentially? I don't know what the onboard boilers get up to in terms of temperature, because I know the rules are quite strict.
I mean, on the aircraft you fly, Andy, the 320s, you don't have the little water dispensing taps for passengers to, or do you?
Well, there's water dispensing taps in the galley, yeah. Not for passenger use, but they're there.
Yeah. Certainly when I've got dicky belly or deli belly.
I'm curious to know how easy or difficult it is to clean those water tanks and how often they get cleaned.
It's a very big tank. And they go through a lot of water every day. So they do get
flushed regularly, aren't they, essentially? Yeah.
Yeah, because that tank serves your boiling water, your cold water, your water to flush the toilets. They need to be filled, especially on short-haul flights. They need to be filled at least once or twice a day. So it does go through quite a bit. And they do get a flush every once in a while.
Yeah, I don't think... I mean, I guess it's like... I think for me, the only thing is, like, you know, if you know the aircraft has been serviced in the UK, then you stand a good chance of it being okay. For me, it's no different to drinking water from a hotel tap in Spain, for example. That's the thing. I mean, it very much depends on where the aircraft is being serviced as to, you know, it's going to be the country is the reason why your digestive system is not used to the various, you know, because all water has germs in it. There's no two ways about it. It's got certain chemicals and things in that you're used to, you know. So as I say, the issue for me is more about, you know, so if it's an aircraft that is based in the UK and is serviced in the UK, then the water is probably not going to do you any harm. But again, if you go to Europe or anywhere else, they do recommend that you don't drink the tap water. So I don't really see it any different. So if you're used to the water in Spain and you drink the water, it won't make any difference to you. It's that for me is the only area of issue, and that's not the airline's fault.
We won't upload. We won't uptake water in certain destinations due to things like that. So it all gets checked constantly.
Owen is in the chat room saying that he's heard that 77 degrees Celsius is what they tend to boil water to, but don't know if that's 100% true.
So I had heard it was something around that, between 76 and 78, depending on that, which is fairly standard for most service, but... Yeah, really, it needs to be sort of water needs to be in the 90 degrees essentially. Ideally, it's good for coffee actually, 76 to 78, because that's I think 76 is the optimum temperature for coffee beans, so as not to burn them, if memory serves correctly.
Tanya in the chat room says, can't remember what airline, but she's been served water in cups. Not sure if it's from a bottle or not. Darren Smith is on about anything living in the bottom of water tanks. It's obviously not going to be good for you at all. And James is saying bottled water outside the US is perfectly good, but in the States, he says our bottled water is reverse osmosis filtered, which strips all the minerals and nutrients out of it, rendering it useless. There we go. Learn something new every day. Nev, you have got...
Well, actually, Nick's going to take this story.
Nick?
Because I've messed up the running order slightly, so Nick's going to take this one.
Nick, you're upgrading yourself to business class.
Oh, I'd like to think so. This one's from... I'm going to do it the British way and say it's aviation A to Z.com. And the headline is ANA introduces world's largest business class seats on Boeing 787s. So All Nippon Airways has confirmed a comprehensive cabin overhaul of its international Boeing 787-9 fleet, highlighted by the introduction of a new business class suite named the Room FX. ANA has scheduled the product to enter service in 2026. And it represents a direct evolution of the airline's acclaimed long-haul premium offering. The upgraded aircraft will primarily operate long-haul international routes from Tokyo Haneda, and will also feature redesigned premium economy and economy cabins. According to 1 Mile at a Time, the project reflects ANA's strategy to prioritise passenger comfort and technology over maximum seating density. ANA's current The Room business class, available on select Boeing 777-300ER aircraft, is widely regarded as one of the most spacious and private business class products in commercial aviation. The Room FX, where FX stands for Future Experience, adapts that concept for the Boeing 787-9 while introducing several fundamental design changes. ANA developed the new suite in partnership with Safran Seats and Acumen Design Associates, continuing a long-standing collaboration with the two suppliers. They describe the Room FX as the world's largest business seat in its category on a mid-size aircraft, a claim supported by its exceptional bed width, overall footprint, and low-density layout. ANA will fit each Boeing 787-9 with 48 business class suites arranged across 12 rows in a 1-2-1 configuration. Seats will alternate between forward-facing and rear-facing orientations, a design approach that allows greater personal space, improved privacy, and more efficient use of the cabin footprint. Every suite will include a full-height privacy door. That's nice. A defining feature of the Room FX is its no-recline architecture, similar in concept to the non-reclining business class seats introduced by Finnair. Instead of reclining backward, passengers slide into a sleeping position. ANA refers to this as a pre-reclining function, where the backrest forms a sofa-like structure that supports multiple lounging and resting positions. The fully flat bed reaches a maximum length of 76.5 inches. I'm not sure what that is in European. And a width of up to 41.5 inches, dimensions that exceed most business class seats installed on mid-sized wide-body aircraft. Each suite is equipped with a 24-inch high-definition monitor and Bluetooth audio connectivity, allowing passengers to pair personal headphones directly with the in-flight entertainment system. Power and charging options are extensive and include USB-A ports, USB-C ports, standard AC outlets, and integrated wireless charging. These features are designed to support multiple personal devices simultaneously and reflect evolving passenger usage patterns on long-haul flights. That sounds pretty nice, doesn't it?
The seats are stunning, and they look absolutely huge.
Have you looked up any prices yet, Carla?
Yeah, I've just had a quick look, actually, funnily enough, Nick. And return ticket to Tokyo with ANA from Heathrow on the 777 in business class will set you back just under £4,000.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, actually. I think Japan tends to be one of the most expensive destinations, doesn't it? Sadly, because I think we should have a PT UK field trip to Tokyo, personally.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I must say the seat, which is very similar to the one on the A350 for Finnair, I'll call it sort of the slouch position, basically, because it's a non-reclining thing. But actually, it's surprisingly comfortable. It does look as though it might be a problem with people for backs and all the rest of it, but it was surprisingly comfortable on the couple of flights that I've done with them. So, yeah, it looks like a good solution.
Yeah, 41.5 inches wide. That's awesome, incredible seat. Yeah,
Aimed at the larger gentleman like myself.
Andy, next one up for you.
No, somebody will need. I'll take this one if that's okay. Just check your WhatsApp, and it's fearoflanding.com is the source on this one, and the headline is LATAM 767 hard landing at Atlanta. On Tuesday evening, a routine commercial passenger flight touched down at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. All 8 main landing gear tyres deflated on impact. Surely that means exploded. The aircraft, a Boeing 767-316 Echo Romeo, registered in Chile as Charlie Charlie X-Ray Foxtrot, was operating as LATAM Flight 2482, a commercial flight from Lima, Peru to Atlanta, Georgia, US. They departed Lima at 12:14 local time with 221 passengers on board. The 7-hour flight to Atlanta was uneventful, and they were actually almost 20 minutes early. As they came into land at runway 26, passengers commented that it was very turbulent. The aircraft touched down. There was a sound of multiple loud bangs in the cabin. The flight crew reported that they were unable to taxi, and that they had an indication that the right main gear was not down. Emergency services raced to the runway and surrounded the aircraft. Initially, they reported that the 2 right main tyres had burst. A few minutes later, they reported that all of the main tyres had blown. Inside the cabin, the ceiling panels were dislodged and the overhead bins had sprung open. A bathroom door had broken off its hinges. The passengers were evacuated onto the runway using mobile stairs. Some passengers said that they were left in the plane for almost 2 hours before buses arrived to shuttle them to the terminal. However, AV Herald reported that the aircraft was towed off the runway about an hour after landing. In any event, the runway was inspected for foreign object debris and remained closed for several hours. The Boeing 767 is still in Atlanta, where it'll need to undergo testing, not only for system faults but also for structural damage. The risk is that the force of landing travelled through the landing gear into the aircraft structure, causing the aircraft skin or internal structures to deform or buckle. Even though the aircraft looks normal from the outside, metal may have been increased on what they call structural wrinkling. The National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, will lead the investigation joined by the Chilean authorities, Delta Golf Alpha Charlie, as the aircraft was registered in Chile. Their primary goal will be to analyse the flight's data and determine exactly which systems failed and when. For now, the Boeing 767 remains grounded in Atlanta, not because of the tyres, which can be swapped out in an afternoon, but to see if the airframe survived the G-forces of the impact without permanent structural deformation. If the impact caused critical structural damage, the landing may have been the 767's last, and that would be a real shame.
Yeah, not many of these passenger flying versions around now. The 767s are getting a bit long in the tooth, but yeah, overweight landing potentially, anti-skid brake, the system not working properly.
Be interesting to see what the actual G loading was, won't it? To see what.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, actually.
Yeah.
I wondered if there's any information anywhere about what that might have been.
It is probably a heavy landing to cause all the tyres to deflate, unless the brakes also are locked on as well.
It is quite a good going to burst all the tyres, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good effort.
Get extra points for that.
Yeah, they're not cheap either.
I'm sure we've had a couple of stories, haven't we, with 767s where, is it 767s or 777s, where they have a tendency for pilot-induced oscillation on when you do the flare, and it can cause the sort of heavy impact of the nose if you're not careful, and that can sort of buckle or wrinkle the fuselage skin.
Yep.
Do you remember on the 76 as well, the main landing gears canted forward?
That's it. It's the other way around, yeah.
Yes. So I just wonder how that alters the landing technique, if at all. I don't know whether it does. But yeah.
Yeah, Matt's just put the pictures up on the screen there. Those tyres do look certainly, yeah.
More money for Michelin. Other
more money for,
aircraft tyres are available. Yes.
It's quite good going to actually dislodge a toilet door and bring ceiling panels down, isn't it? That's absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah, which says to me it was a very, very hard landing.
I mean, do you think people saying that there's turbulence, do you think that could have been a wind shear incident?
Potentially. I mean, I haven't seen what the weather was doing that day there. There could be multiple factors in this, but it looks like a very heavy landing to me to cause doors to come off and panels to come off the roof.
It's lucky no one was hurt.
Very lucky. Nick, banging in the cargo hold.
Yes. So another one from Aviation, A to Z, we'll call it this time for our transatlantic listeners. Air Canada A321 pilot shocked by loud banging from cargo hold at Toronto Airport. Yeah, I should imagine as a baggage handler, this would probably be your worst nightmare. Air Canada Rouge faced a major operational disruption at Toronto after a departure returned to the gate when screams were heard from the cargo hold. The incident exposed a breakdown in ground safety procedures and led to an overnight cancellation. The flight was scheduled from Toronto Pearson International to Greater Moncton Romeo LeBlanc International. That rolls off the tongue nicely. And passenger intervention prevented a potentially life-threatening situation before takeoff. So this happened on December the 13th last year. And the flight was scheduled to operate, as we've just said, from Toronto to Moncton, operated by an Airbus A321. Let's see if I get it right. Charlie Foxtrot Juliet Quebec Delta. The 752-mile domestic flight was originally scheduled to depart at 2 p.m. and arrive at 5:03 p.m. local time, accounting for the 1 hour time difference. By the time the aircraft began taxiing, the departure was already delayed by approximately 5 hours. As the aircraft moved towards the runway, multiple passengers reported hearing loud banging and screaming coming from the cargo hold. They immediately notified cabin crew, and some passengers reportedly called 911 due to a concern over the situation. The flight crew halted taxi operations and returned the aircraft to the gate. Ground personnel then discovered that a baggage handler had become trapped inside the cargo hold before it was closed. A video later posted online by a passenger captured partial audio of the pilot's announcement. In it, the pilot explained that this was the first such incident in his career and confirmed that the individual was safely removed and uninjured. According to the OMAT, the OMAAT, I'm not sure who they are. Might want to do a quick Google.
That's 1 mile at a time.
Ah, brilliant. Thank you, Nev.
Yeah.
The return was required to extract the person and complete mandatory documentation. Passenger reactions in the cabin were mixed, with audible laughter heard in the video following the announcement, an unusual response given the seriousness of the incident. The baggage handler was discovered at approximately 7:30 p.m. local time. About an hour later, passengers were required to deplane due to the need for a crew change, further extending the delay. Boarding resumed around 10 p.m. However, at 11 p.m., passengers were informed of a mechanical issue affecting the aircraft. Shortly after midnight, a replacement aircraft was sourced. Despite these efforts, the flight was ultimately cancelled shortly after 1 a.m. In total, passengers experienced nearly 11 hours of disruption without reaching their destination. While aircraft cargo holds are pressurized during flight, they are not designed for human occupancy. Although I expect Ryanair would probably quite like it if they were. Temperatures in the hold can drop significantly, creating significant health risks if exposure is prolonged. And ground handling procedures are intended to prevent exactly this type of situation, including physical checks and confirmation protocols before cargo doors are sealed. This incident indicates that those safeguards were not followed correctly. Although rare, similar incidents have occurred. In March 2025, a Turkish Airlines baggage handler remained trapped in a cargo hold and was not discovered until after takeoff. That individual later suffered long-term medical complications. Given that tens of thousands of flights operate daily worldwide, incidents of this nature typically surface no more than once per year. Their rarity does not lessen the severity when they do occur. The Air Canada Rouge flight returned to the gate in Toronto after the passengers heard the screaming, and the baggage handler was found trapped, as we've already read about. The individual avoided injury due to timely discovery, but the incident highlights a serious lapse in ground safety procedures. For passengers, the situation resulted in extensive delays. Yes, it did. So quite shocking in a way. One would imagine that there would be a kind of a personnel cross-check kind of situation, but I don't know. You can't help but feel that in the kind of the heat of and the pressure of quick turnarounds, that maybe sometimes there are lapses, I suppose.
Well, BA have a procedure these days on the in the cabin of announcing before they shut the doors. Would any non-flying personnel please leave the aircraft? Maybe they need to do the PA downstairs in the baggage hold as well.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the onus would be on the individual that they don't want to be hanging around in there. But I guess it's not surprising in a way that we don't hear about these stories very often.
I think I know what Air Canada's new procedure is now. Is anybody still in there? And then close the door.
I suppose it depends if you happen to like your colleague.
Yeah, that's very true. Sounds like a prank that could go terribly wrong, because as it says, it may be pressurized, but heating the cargo hold is an optional extra that you can purchase to add into the aircraft. And the ones we have don't have cargo heat. The Sims we use have cargo heat fitted, weirdly, but we don't have it on our aircraft.
At all, Andy?
No cargo heat, no.
Blimey. Okay.
We don't carry cargo. We just carry people's bags.
No wonder my case is always freezing cold when I get off one of your flights.
Yeah. It's not heated down there.
Waste of money.
Well, that is true. let's have a look at this. Aerotime.aero. World's first Boeing 737-800 passenger cargo combi conversion. I do like these. They're pretty cool. The team behind aircraft innovators KF Aerospace is celebrating the world's first 737-800 cargo combi conversion, having received authorization to enter service. On January the 9th this year, Canada-based KF Aerospace confirmed that Transport Canada had officially approved its modified 737-800 with the issuance of supplemental type certificate. The Air Inuit 737-800, which formerly flew for South African Comair until 2022, was adapted by KF Aerospace into a unique multi-role configuration. The 737-800C comes with a forward cargo compartment with 5 pallet positions and a 90-passenger cabin. That's quite impressive. This innovative layout makes it the first 737-800 aircraft of its kind anywhere in the world, with no comparable combi currently in operation in the US, Europe, or other international markets, a KF Aerospace spokesperson said. The first 737-800C, registration Charlie Foxtrot Tango Uniform Whiskey, was completed and delivered to Air Inuit in October 2025 as part of the airline's fleet modernisation. The Dash 800 combi built on the proven AEI 737-800 SF large cargo door with certification, marking another milestone in the calibration between KF Aerospace and AFI. The achievement of the Dash 800 combi underscores the power of true partnership that KF and AEI have enjoyed over the last 3 decades, says Robert T. Convey, Senior Vice President at AEI. By combining AEI's cargo door conversion expertise with KF's engineering and operational strength, we are now able to deliver the world's first combi that unlocks new possibilities for operators worldwide. According to KF Aerospace, completion of the program required substantial redesign of the aircraft's interior and systems in order to meet stringent certification requirements. KF Aerospace engineered and integrated fire detection and halon-based fire suppression and advanced smoke contaminant systems for the forward cargo section, while also modifying existing freighter-specific detection systems to meet combi-specific criteria. The effort resulted in the creation of hundreds of new parts and custom-engineered solutions to make this technically complex modification program possible. For those of you watching the world of YouTube, you'll see the pictures on the screen. This project reflects the ingenuity, dedication and deep technical expertise of our entire team, said Greg Evian, president of KF Aerospace. And they're proud to deliver world-first solutions that expands what is possible in aircraft conversion and supports our customers' complex operational needs. Now, the combi conversions I can remember, I think, Nev, were the old Dash 200s. I think they had.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah. And are these, can you sort of switch them backwards and forwards? That's the whole purpose of combi aircraft, isn't it? With short, turnaround to convert them back to freight or for passenger.
I'd expect them to be able to switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it'll be a bit boring sitting in that particular section that Matt's got on the screen now with
plenty of legroom,
no windows. Yeah, plenty of legroom. Yeah.
Although I think there are windows there, isn't there? Because you can see the light on the right-hand side of that picture. So there must be some form of... is it just like a paper or something? Because it looks like it's got tape around there.
I'm not sure if this combi aircraft is fixed like that.
Finished.
You can't move that bulkhead because that bulkhead looks pretty secure in place there. Mm-hmm. Which would make sense, I guess. If 5 pallets plus 90 passengers, that's quite a load you take. And these remote places in Canada need this sort of transport. Like you said, the old 200s, they're very long in the tooth, and there's a few 300s kicking about up there as well that were combis as well.
But I'll tell you what, the airframe itself, the Dash 800, they're never going to run short of these because there's so many of these airframes around the world, probably sitting in boneyards, that they could convert to combi conversions like this. Popular aircraft that was for Boeing.
It's given me a little bit of nostalgia, actually, because this was before you wrote me into talking to people on the internet. This was I wrote into PT UK with a story about an airline that uses the 737 combis up in the north of Canada, and they had the distinction of running the gravel kit so that they could land on runways.
Yeah, haven't Buffalo? They've recently, in the last year, I think, brought a Dash 400 or was it a Dash 800? I can't remember now.
I shall quickly Google it.
I'm pretty sure Buffalo they've recently purchased a couple of 737s. I think they brought I know they brought a Dash 200. The chat room will know for sure. Definitely.
So they have a 737-300 and a 737-200.
Oh, God, there we go.
Which the 200 has the gravel kit. Lovely.
Yeah, love that series on TV. Ice Pilots. Did you ever watch that, Andy? When it was on TV?
Yes, I have seen that. Yeah,
it's
good.
Series. Matt, you got the last story and two kind of, I say lesser known carriers. They're kind of two well-known carriers, but kind of we don't talk about them all that much on the show.
Indeed. It's businesstraveller.com is the source on this one, and the headline: low-cost carriers Allegiant and Sun Country are to merge. So two low-cost carriers are merging, and it's not Frontier and Spirit. Instead, the deal is bringing together Allegiant Air and Sun Country Airlines, pairs two airlines that, while largely flying under the radar of the general public, have quietly built profitable, resilient businesses by focusing on leisure travellers' underserved markets and underserved, and disciplined growth. Under a newly announced agreement, Allegiance will acquire Sun Country in a cash and stock transaction valuing the Minneapolis
It's a Minneapolis.
Based carrier at approximately $1.5 billion, creating a scaled leisure airline designed to withstand the sharp seasonality that defines much of the US vacation travel. The strategic logic of the merger is rooted less in consolidation and more in complementary, according to data from Aviation analytics from Cirium. The two airlines overlap on only one route in their entire networks. Allegiant's strength lies in connecting small and mid-sized US cities directly to leisure destinations, while Sun Country's scheduled flying is heavily concentrated around the St. Paul area, or between Minneapolis and St. Paul, paired with international leisure routes and diversified non-scheduled operations. This lack of overlap allows the combined airline to scale without immediately cutting routes or reducing capacity, a notable distinction from past US airline mergers. Sun Country's international footprint offers Allegiant a ready-made platform for expanded leisure flying beyond the US, something Allegiant has historically pursued cautiously. A central element of the merger is Sun Country's cargo and charter business, which provides stability during off-peak leisure travel periods. The airline operates a fleet of Boeing 737 freighters under a long-term agreement with Amazon Prime Air, alongside charter flying for casinos, professional sports teams, collegiate programs, and the US Department of Defense. As reported by Skift, Sun Country has consistently ranked among the most profitable US carriers precisely because this diversified model reduces its exposure to seasonal volatility. That stability is particularly attractive to Allegiant, which reported a loss in the third quarter, while Sun Country posted a modest profit over the same period. At closing, the merged airline will operate approximately 195 aircraft with 30 additional jets on order and 80 options. The fleet will include both Airbus and Boeing narrow bodies, giving management flexibility to deploy aircraft where returns are strongest. Following the close, Allegiant will remain the publicly traded parent company, and the combined airline will operate under the Allegiant name. Both airlines will continue to fly separately until the FAA issues a single operating certificate, meaning there'll be no immediate changes to schedules, ticketing, or the Sun Country brand.
Yeah, just look at these two airlines. Sun Country was formed back in 1982, so 43 years ago, whereas Allegiant was slightly newer, formed back in 1997, 29 years old. But these are like the kind of low cost carriers. I think, are these like Southwest, Nev? I don't know whether these two are like Southwest. I think they are. They're classed as a low cost carrier, aren't they, in the US?
Yeah, I mean, Southwest is probably one of obviously the biggest one. Yeah, I've certainly flown on Allegiant back in the day. Not Sun Country, though. So our main man, Micah, is in the chat room. I'm sure he will tell us or correct us.
I do like the Sun Country livery, though. They do have a nice livery on their aircraft. Definitely stand out. But you ever flown on these boys, Andy, at all in your visits to the US?
No, I've never been anywhere near them.
No. Yeah, Sun Country. So yeah, it's they're big. Well, they're definitely going to be a big airline or airline now between the two. Fleet size of 66 for Sun Country, and Allegiant have 131 aircraft. Airbus in their fleet as well. I'd be pleased to hear, Andy. So yeah, big news, big money.
So I expect we'll be talking about Southwest next week, won't we? Because
they'll be buying someone else.
Well, I think Southwest have announced that they might be going transatlantic. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works.
Actually, Micah makes a good point. He says Southwest is no longer a low-cost carrier, and it hasn't been for many years. It's a full fare airline. Gosh,
there we go.
That's a change, isn't it?
There we go. Right, it is that time of the week and of the show where we go back a few years, don't we, Nev?
Yes, and I can tell that you've been choosing the content for this one because it says that this week we go back to 1982, where TWA are creating a business class for basketball players in the world's greatest airliner ever built. I wonder what that might be. But then we step back a year to 1981 to Pan Am and say hello. Just check out that 747 Classic. Here we go.
Right before your eyes, TWA is creating a brand new way for business flyers to fly coast to coast. A business class in a separate cabin with bigger, wider seats than in coach, but fewer seats so you're less crowded. It's TWA's new ambassador class to the East Coast, with enough room for anybody.
Even if you're 7'1" or taller, taller. Little. You're gonna like us, TWA.
Just say hello to a brand new world. It's just outside your door.
Now that Pan Am and National are one, you can fly Pan Am to 25 great U.S. cities like Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, and New Orleans, and get the kind of international service that's made us famous. Say hello to Pan Am.
Say hello to a brand new world. Say hello to Pan Am.
It's of its time.
Right before your eyes, TWA is...
Again, shall we?
Play that again, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely of its time. Definitely of its time. But it's so nice to see that old Pan Am Clipper, isn't it? The 747 Classic back then. What an incredible aircraft.
Carlos, I'm just curious to know that if we were to play 2 of these every week, how many more years does this internet vault of yours go back with all these old ads in them?
I've got a handful more thanks to Mr. Coleman. So we've got a few more in the vault to play out. So I think we're good for a couple of months. I think at least.
Wow.
So, yeah, but no, awesome to see that. And like we always say, these cabins were definitely larger back in those days. Without question. Right, time to take a look at shall we take a look at some military aviation? Nev, shall we do that?
Yes, please do.
What's up, Bogies 13550, Angel 16, heading 340. Okay. 100 St. Bogies.
And UKaviation.news is this one for this week. The first story, Ukrainian drone maker to invest £200 million in East Anglia. Well, I'll wait for the job interview to come up. Ukrainian drone manufacturer. Oh, I've got one of these now, Matt. You've had yours. I'll have mine now. UKR Spec Systems. Oh, there we go.
Beg your pardon?
Has announced an investment of £200 million into the East Anglian region of the UK. Oh, I mean, who wouldn't? By creating a new production facility and test site in Suffolk, creating hundreds of highly skilled jobs. Oh, it's me out then. The news will come as a relief to the region following the recent decision by Lotus to cut 550 workers in the neighbouring Norfolk, with many of the skills being transferable. The investment will see UKR Spec Systems utilise a 11,000 metres squared factory at Mildenhall, along with a new testing site at Elmset, both in Suffolk. Drone production at the site is expected to begin in 2026. Well, that's good because we're there now, with workers starting to be employed later this year. The company also has ambitions to expand further sites in the region, as well as offering apprenticeships to build the next generation of skilled workers. Rory Chamberlain, Managing Director UK of UKR Spec Systems, said that they are proud to be the first Ukrainian company to commit to a funded plan to invest in infrastructure, jobs and skills in the UK. Our factory at Mildenhall and flight test and training facility at Elmset are testament to this commitment. Our unmatched battle-winning technology and know-how, coupled with UK aviation and industrial expertise, will enable UK Spec Systems to become the global leader in uncrewed systems in both the civil and military sectors, and establish the UK as a launch pad for export markets. Right Honourable Maria Eagle MP, Minister for Defence, Procurement and Industry, added that we stand united with the Ukraine and recognise its world-leading drone capabilities. By collaborating with the Ukrainian companies, they'll benefit from cutting-edge designs and innovative technology, strengthening the UK's armed forces and those of our partners. The £200 million investment will also improve our industrial base and create up to 500 jobs, driving economic growth and prosperity around the country. Core elements of our upcoming defence industrial strategy, UK Spec Systems, will be exhibiting at the upcoming DSEI UK event, which takes place from the 9th to the 12th of September at the Excel in London, where it expects to make further investment announcements in the UK. The event is Europe's leading defence and security industry event. We'll get tickets to that, shall we?
Yeah.
But when these jobs come up, if they need a warehouse person or forklift driver, I'm there.
You've only just got your new job.
I know.
Another one already. What you like?
It's just so cool though to work in that particular section or part of the aviation industry. But it's definitely a big investment. £200 million, Matt. I think that's more than Norfolk has ever heard of.
Well, yes, yeah, indeed. I'm going to ask you a question now, Carlos. What would be your? I mean, you can't be a pilot, all right? So if you can't be a pilot, well, don't look at me like that.
I'm just waiting while I drink water.
Fair enough. What would be the ultimate booby prize, for want of a better word? Because you've always wanted to be in aviation. What could be the one job that scratched that itch if you weren't a commercial pilot?
I mean, it would be anything to do with working around an airport. Or do you mean non-aviation based?
No. I think, the whole point is aviation based. I mean, we're on an aviation podcast, Carlos, so obviously it's going to have some. But it's like, so let's say that being a pilot is no longer an option.
Oh, ground crew. I'd be ground crew. I'd love to be ground crew. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I would gladly go and take a ground crew job at London Norwich Airport here near us.
Norwich.
But unfortunately, with the salaries that are currently on offer there, which I've looked at this week, enough, because they've advertised a few positions on their website, they are
disappointing. I think is the word you're looking for.
Disappointing. I will say that.
Is that? I mean, so it's, let's put some numbers in there then. So is that the what were the numbers, Carlos? Was it? I mean, some of them were sort of like, was it sort of 18, 19,000, something like that?
Yeah, some of them are around there. Most of them come in at just on the minimum wage.
Now, is that industry wide? Sort of, I guess I'm firing this at the likes of Andy and that. I mean, is that industry wide, or is it just because Norwich is a small airport that they're going in at sort of basically just a few pence above minimum wage, essentially?
It's industry wide, unfortunately.
Okay. Shame.
My argument has always been with these sorts of jobs that because a lot of these jobs require you to have some form of qualification.
Right.
We're going totally off piece with this story here now.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
But you need some form of qualification. And if you're applying for a job to do something like this and you have a qualification, then I think your salary should reflect that. Especially at an airport, because you're doing an important job if you're working ground crew.
Yeah.
I agree.
Indeed. But I mean, sort of bringing it back to the story. I mean, the investment in the east of England is always going to be welcome. Government contracts are always going to be welcome. Military contracts are always going to be welcome. So, I think it's good news for the east, certainly.
Yeah. Andy, next story for you, and big news this week in the military circuit.
Yes, this is from the BBC.co.uk, and the Red Arrows will be led by a woman for the first time in its history. Wing Commander Sasha Nash, who has taken over from Wing Commander Adam Collins as the most senior officer in the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, described it as the opportunity of a lifetime. Nash said she was incredibly proud, adding she hoped to inspire future generations of aviators from all backgrounds. In 2023, the team faced criticism after an inquiry found predatory behaviour towards women within the team was widespread and normalised. Nash, a former Tornado pilot who has flown tours in Afghanistan, will command 150 RAF and civilian personnel. Oh, why has my story just jumped? Apologies. Hang on, I've got to get back to the right spot now. Nash, a former Tornado pilot who has flown tours in Afghanistan, will command 150 RAF and civilian personnel at the team's headquarters at RAF Waddington in Lincolnshire and have responsibility for overseeing all aspects of the operation. This is a career opportunity of a lifetime, she said. If someone had told me 20 years ago that one day I'd be officer commanding of the Red Arrows, I don't think I would have believed it. Talking about her passion for aviation, she said it all started when she was a child. I was a 6-year-old little girl and decided to join the RAF and to fly fast jets, inspired by air shows and seeing the speed and excitement of aircraft displaying at those events. That ambition stayed with me throughout school, where I achieved a sixth form scholarship and subsequent university bursary to join the RAF. Nash, who was previously worked alongside the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight based at RAF Coningsby in Lincolnshire and played lacrosse for England at junior and senior level, paid tribute to her predecessor. I've worked alongside Adam over the last couple of years and witnessed firsthand his utter dedication to both the team and the RAF. Collins, whose career saw him lead the team during its 60th anniversary season, as well as a 5-week tour of Canada, wished his successor well. I'm confident that under her leadership, the Red Arrows will continue to demonstrate our recipe of precision, excellence and teamwork across the globe, he said. Speaking in 2024, Collins said the team had moved on from the harassment claims, saying at the time it was his job to make people feel included, valued and respected. Well, it's very good news, this, isn't it? Great.
Absolutely.
As well. Yeah, it'd be nice if we can try and catch up with her at some point at an air show this year.
I'm surprised she's not called us already, actually, to appear on the show. Well, perhaps I'll put the feelers out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, girl power, as Darren Smith says in the chat room. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, Tanya's saying this is awesome as well.
Just reading the chat room. Apologies. Yeah. Yes, very true, Micah. Yeah, I agree with that. But we are hopefully going to be. We're going to have we are set. Hopefully, going to sort out about having a little get together soon. One of our usual production meetings very soon. We'll have a sit down and think about where we're going to go this year for air shows. All being well, hopefully we'll get to as many as we can this year. But we have got a very important special day coming this year. A day which I hope will be stunningly gorgeous with sunshine and clear skies. Nev, we are heading off to the Imperial War Museum in Duxford, aren't we?
Yes, and we can say that it's this year now because it's 2026.
Yeah.
So it's Friday, the 22nd of May, 2026 this year. It's our 600th show. And as Carlos said, it's going to be at the Imperial War Museum at Duxford in the UK. And we're taking over the airside suite for the day. There are still some places left. It's very heavily subscribed, I'm pleased to say. But if you would like to come and join us, there is an entry fee of £60 payable to us by the 1st of April, either to the Patreon or the PayPal account, details of which are on the Support Us tab on the front page of our website, just on the right-hand side. That gives you a complimentary 1-hour admission to the museum, and also we're going to have some special guests presenting as well, details of which will be announced maybe on the day, actually. We're not going to reveal who it's going to be before then. If you're coming by car, then there's free dedicated on-site parking for our guests. Tea and coffee breaks with cookies, fresh fruit and a buffet lunch is included in the entry price. Plenty of reasonably priced accommodation as well, local to Duxford. We suggest you book early if you want to do that. It is down to yourselves to book and pay for your own hotel, but we are staying at the Duxford Hotel, Cambridge South, which is in Whittlesford, so it's just a 3-minute drive down the road from the museum. The Whittlesford station is right next to the hotel too, so it's got easy access to London's Liverpool Street station. And dinner venue in the evening is the Red Lion Hotel, which is directly opposite this hotel, which is very convenient. Red Lion's also got hotel spaces as well, if you are stuck for space at the other hotel. That's a sort of pay for yourself affair, but you will have to pre-order your food, and I'll be doing some menus to send out to those people that have booked. We'll need that info by the 30th of April at the latest. So if you would like to join us, there are still some spaces available. Please send your request to podcast@planetalkinguk.com. We'll send you a confirmation email after we've received your payment. And if you've got any dietary requirements, can you let us know as well so we can inform the catering team at Duxford? But yeah, very much looking forward to it. 22nd of May this year. It's a Friday. Can't wait.
Yeah, got the day booked off from my work.
Me too.
Hotel is booked, and also my dad is also attending as well. He's looking forward to that very much indeed. So yeah, looking forward to meeting some of our listeners who we see in the chat room every week, but not necessarily have met in person, because there are quite a few of our listeners who are in the chat room at the moment who are going to be attending the meetup as well. And I might add, a lot of people who are coming to the 600 are also not just coming in by, a few miles in a car, but also travelling in by plane, aren't they, Nev, from the US and other countries as well?
They are. And yeah, it's going to be a great event. Let's just hope the weather's nice as well, but you never quite know what you're going to get. But, we'll see how we go. So
it'll be good.
Yeah.
Be good. Right, we're going to wrap up the show, but we'll have a little look at the socials. Nev, where can our loyal listeners find out more about us online?
Yes, so if you are not aware of it, you can contact us on Facebook, X or Instagram or LinkedIn. And just search those platforms for Plane Talking UK. Email the show, podcast@planetalkinguk.com. And our WhatsApp number is +44 7446 975 214. Send your pictures, comments, compliments, or otherwise to that number as well. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Of course, you'll get notifications when we go live. Just smash the like button if you wouldn't mind, and subscribe as well. That means you'll get all the information as soon as it's released. And of course, you can help shape the conversation of the show too by joining us in the chat room, as many people have done today. just go to youtube.com and search for Plain Talking UK. As we always say, it costs us some money to run the show. So if you feel that you can assist with some of that, use that contact us and support us banner on the website, where there's a Patreon and a PayPal link. It's not obligatory to do so, but if you can help us, we'd be extremely grateful.
Yes, thank you very much indeed, one and all. So, quick round robin before we wrap up the show for tonight. We'll start with you this week, Nick. What exciting things, possibly on two wheels, are you up to?
Well, yeah, I was going to take the motorbike out tomorrow, but it now looks like it's going to be torrential rain. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I've found myself during the course of the show going down a bit of a rabbit hole of looking at flights on kayaks. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow instead. I was just wondering if any of our listeners also do this thing where when they're booking flights, if they do it based on which aircraft it is rather than how cheap the flights are.
I can speak from personal experience. No, it's all about the cost.
Yeah.
Couldn't give a monkeys what aircraft I'm on.
Well, I was looking at a couple of routes and they were both on 777s, and I was like, no, I don't want to go on a 777. I've already been on one of those.
Yeah.
Would you pay more, though, just to go on an aircraft you've not been?
I'd pay a little bit more, yes.
Yeah. You ever done that before, Nev?
All the time. Yeah, when I went to Helsinki, I wanted to make sure I wasn't on the clapped out A321s, and I went on the A350 both ways from Heathrow to Helsinki and back, which was nice. So just a question of getting the right flight times. But of course, it was a bit more expensive as it happened, but I didn't care because I do love the A350.
There we go.
Fair.
How about you, Andy? Any exciting flighting going on?
I have a very busy week between now and next seeing you. I'm currently in Barcelona. I'm here till Friday, then home, work from home on Monday. Then Tuesday, I am going to visit another UK airline to see how they do their sim trading. So I'll be going to visit their simulators and sit in the back of one of their sessions before I then head down to Gatwick. And I'll be in Gatwick next week when I speak to you.
Oh, nice. God, you do get around, Andy.
I do get around, yes.
Yeah, all that hotel food. Talking of food, I'm starving still. Right, Nev, what about you?
Nothing too major, but I've actually got a nice trip down to the place near Cardiff in Wales next week.
Nice.
See my friend Richard, I haven't seen for ages. So it'll be nice to have a spot of lunch with him and
Is he the lovely
chat and reminisce about the old times and what have you.
Is he the lovely gentleman who wrote the blue covered book?
Yes, he is.
Yes,
Richard Coburn.
That's the one. Yes, wonderful chap he is.
So he is a fine fellow. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him on Monday of next week. And we've got Keep Fit tomorrow. Ooh. And swimming on Friday. Ooh.
I like the swimming. Yeah, you can keep fit, but I must admit I used to love going swimming. I enjoy that. I find that quite relaxing.
It's not bad, actually, is it? Yeah, it's not bad. So
I'd take it over keep fit any day.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
How about you, Matt? Any exciting excursions?
No, not really. Tomorrow I'm going to see a very dear friend of mine, dear Mr. Tom, Mr. Sparks, and we're going to a restaurant called Pho in Norwich that specialises in Vietnam. You'd hate it because it's all Vietnamese food and all that kind of thing, but it's our favourite place to go, and I haven't seen him for a long time, so we're just having a little catch up, really, sort of find out. I think we're just going to sit there, eat fine food, and put the world to rights, essentially.
Oh, good call.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But other than that, the usual radio stuff, basically, just trying to keep us on air, essentially.
Good.
That's next week's mission, as always.
And Saturday, I shall be doing absolutely nothing apart from the usual on Saturday morning between 10 and 1.
Yeah.
And Sunday, I'm hoping to meet up with someone I worked with up until June last year. Going to be seeing him on Sunday.
The lovely man who used to live in Halston.
Exactly, yeah.
I'll give him my best, won't you?
I will.
Yeah.
He's just moved home, so he's just moved to a new house. Brand new house as well.
Ooh, shiny.
And so he's excited to bring around the snagging list that he's had to make for the house. Because whenever you buy a new home here in the UK, you don't normally tend to find 10 million things that are wrong with it. So
yeah, I bet.
Forward to that. But yeah, other than that, I shall be lighting the wood burner if it's chilly on Sunday as well, and having a good relax.
Nice.
And I might even go down to Queen's Head on Saturday. I don't know yet.
Might. I love how he's put the word "might" on the beginning of that. Yeah.
Well, we went down on Sunday, and it was only supposed to be for 1 pint.
One pint turned into 10, did it?
Went beyond that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to when I get Andy down this way for a little trip to take him to the Queen's Head, because I think he'll appreciate that pub.
I think he will. Oh, hello. It looks like the food's been delivered. Time to wrap up.
Oh, yeah. Time to wrap up the show as I'm handed my evening delights.
What's on the menu?
You,
oh,
dear.
look, got a bib and everything. Brilliant, lovely. Thanks, Gemma. Love that.
Thank you, dear. Right, that is where we're going to bring up.
He just segued through the whole thing as if nothing
Episode
happened.
585
Wow.
to a close.
Nothing to see here. Moving on.
Thanks to all the chat room for joining us tonight. Thank you to everyone who listens to the show as an audio podcast as well. And thank you very much for tuning in, as you do. So from me, Carlos here in the home studio, from Nev in his home studio, from Andy in the hotel studio, from Nick in his home studio, and from Matt in the Master Suite studios. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you all next week. Say goodbye, Nev.
Yes, take care, folks. See you next week. Bye-bye.
And there we are. Done.
There we go. Another one in the can, as they say.
The only way that could have been bettered then is if Gemma had leant across and made you blow your nose.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, that was quite marvellous.
I would say, as Carlos has now got his dinner in front of him, I think we should say goodbye to our wonderful chat room.
Yes, chat room.
Bid you adieu, because
chat room.
The last thing we need is Carlos doing a pip now, don't we, on the stream?
Yeah.
You know?
Thanks for all the support and the love in the chat room, guys. Thank you very much indeed. And don't forget to join us again next week.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everyone. So, yeah, that's it.
Live and not necessarily local, right across the YouTube.
No, exactly. Right, take care, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. And we'll slowly fade to the other screen. See you next week, guys and girls.